filling up fast. We're good to go. All right, let's go home now. Well, keep an eye on it. I'm going to get back to sculpting this thing. All right?
Well, now since we got the pump running, we're going to keep on digging and finish shaping this flake out. So I'm here at my house in Sarasota, Florida, where my buddy Lucas is building a flake for me and my family. We've lived here for 2 years, and for 2 years we've been dreaming of what we were going to put outside as a pool. But to come outside of my house, and I just see this gigantic hole in the middle of my yard. Holy, this thing is ridiculous.
Are you kidding me? You're breaking my heart.
This looks out of control. How big is this pool going to be?
I don't know. You think I'd bother measuring it? I'm just eyeballing it, man.
Knowing Lucas for as long as I have, I know exactly how every job goes. It starts off small, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Right now, it's kind of a little overwhelming, I'd say.
I don't want to underwhelm, you know.
I'm pretty glad.
Yeah, right. My job's done here.
I think we're gonna have a little problem with this.
Thing is, when Frankie works with me, he never sees this stage. So I think I just need to kind of walk him through and paint the picture for him and put his nerves at ease. Well, look, you got the beach entry for your mom to kind of hang out, look at the grandkids.
Yeah, I like this area. This area is...
That's your jumping area. You can walk up the view. All right.
That's cool.
Down here, you can swim a bar.
My most important.
Yeah. We've dug out about 300 yards of dirt so far. Normally we go all this way out of here, but Heather wants to elevate the pool.
Okay.
So the pool doesn't flood when it rains.
Okay.
And don't forget, once I get the liner in here and I set the rocks, you're gonna lose 6 foot
All the way
around, right?
Yeah. So Lucas tells me, don't worry, it's gonna look a lot smaller than it is right now. You know, it'll grow on me, I guess. I'm hoping he's right about that.
All right.
You know your job, so I'll let you do it.
I'm really glad we're on the same page and ready to keep moving forward.
Oh, here comes the liner. Look at that toad sitting on it.
That's trash for you. It's like a rhino riding a horse. I guess Trash didn't want to do rock, paper, scissors, shoot with me to see who gets the run on the machine.
The whole idea with the liner is this allows us to put more money into rocks and less into infrastructure. It's actually a PVC liner, so it's going to be resistant to the chlorine and chemicals. It's going to last forever. So we're building a swimming pool kind of like you would build a pond, only we're kind of going over the top. What we basically have to do is stretch it out across the whole lagoon and then kind of unfold it from there. We're going to make sure it's protected underneath and on top, so I don't have any worries. If we do it the wrong way, we're going to be fighting 1,800 pounds all day long.
Woman power.
We got this. Now, since the liner's here, we have all the pieces to put this puzzle together. We have to put many layers down because we got to protect this liner at all costs. We're going to have the gravel, our filter fabric, sand, and then we have another filter fabric. Then the liner. And we have concrete on top of that. And this thing, if you cut it open, it's going to look like a sandwich. Or maybe like a 5-layer cake, lasagna. Now I'm getting kind of hungry now.
First order of the day is to try to get the gravel as smooth out as possible. It's kind of like Princess and the Pea. You know, if you've got a lump at the bottom, you're going to feel it at the top.
Next, we're using this filter fabric as our first line of defense.
So these layers of fabric are 12 feet wide and 300 feet long. It's secured at this end. All right. It's a lot of fabric, but I think we're going to use every inch of it to cover this pool.
Well, now we got all the filter fabric all staked out. We can bring in the sand. The sand we're putting in is going to act like a cushion between the rocks and the liner.
Nikola, ne skidaj čarape, Nikola.
So don't puncture the liner.
Sand, we got 4 inches everywhere. Now we just got to bring in the last layer of filter fabric. This is the final protection for this giant liner. I think we're going to pull this off.
We got some road, see if we can get it over to Crash.
It's time to get this show on the road.
This thing is 80 foot by 100 foot, weighs 1,800 pounds. This liner is no joke. I say we just unroll it like a giant roll of toilet paper.
Yeah. Man, this is heavy.
A little bit more. Good. So far, so good. Now we have to, by hand, unfold this 8,000 square foot liner. I can see Crash and Old Man just sweating. They're hating it right now. Nice. All right, we got the deep end stretched out. Now it's time to start working on the shallow end. When I was a kid, I used to grab like bed sheets and pretend I was a superhero and fly through the air. That's basically my method for pulling this liner out. We got too much liner, it's awesome. Next up, we're laying a bunch of yellow PVC lath on the walls to help hold the concrete in place. Alright, and to support the weight of this giant waterfall that's about to go in, we're building a base with a small riprap rock, basically using it in place of rebar. For this build, we're only needing a fraction of the concrete that we would typically use. Concrete's here, let's go! Just to cover this liner, we're using 50 yards of fiber mesh concrete. I'm treating this liner like a baby, like just bundling it up, making sure nothing can ever puncture it. I don't know, man, if it cracks a little bit, doesn't matter because we got the liner holding the water in. I'm building this thing to last forever. This is the largest beach entry we've ever built. I mean, there are no steps in this pool at all, which is the first time we've ever done this. Now that we got the concrete in, it's rock work, man. But first, I need to check in with two special people. Hey, Darren, Carter, what's up, buddies? Carter and Darren are really good friends with my boys. I know them so well, so I really want to know what they want. What would you guys like to see in your pool?
A treehouse.
A treehouse pool?
Monster truck.
A monster truck in the pool?